Good evening and welcome to the United Stand. It is Manchester United versus Stoke. It's our preview and you're very, very welcome. This is a massive game for Manchester United. We go to Stoke, and I've said this a few times to people, that every game now is more or less a must win. Whether it's cup or league games, there is no room for error, especially in the league because of those points we dropped so many, the Stoke, the Burnley, I get fed up of saying it, and the other three. We've got to win this game. A draw is a loss. And I felt like that against Liverpool, but we certainly cannot go to Stoke and get a draw. It will be like a loss, even if it's a last-minute equaliser. We've got to win this game if we've got any hope of going for, well, some people think the title, but certainly for top four. You know, there are some easier games for the opposition, which I'm going to talk about rivals in a minute. But is Stoke the difficult tie that it used to be? You know, can you do it on a winter's afternoon in Stoke? I don't think that it is that anymore. I don't think they are that Rory Delap wiping the ball and big physical players. I think they can still mix it up, but I don't think they are that sort of team now. They've got people like Joe Allen in there and Artovich, you know, tough players, but footballers, and I think that may play into our hands. Certainly hope that it does. Andrew Thompson's very confident our team will win. You know what? I'm confident as well. I think we will win it, but I don't think it's going to be easy. In fact, I said it before the Liverpool game. I think if we beat Liverpool, it doesn't mean we're going to win the league or anything like that, because I think Stoke away is difficult. They've, in their last 4 league games, they actually got dominant. They got beat by Liverpool at Anfield, then they got beat by Chelsea over Christmas. But they've won their last two games. It's home to Stoke, Watford 2-0, and then Sunderland away 3-1. But it was Sunderland. So whilst their form's not bad, I don't think it's anything for Manchester United to worry about. I worry about Manchester United and whether we'll have a slight hangover from that disappointment of Liverpool. I think the whole team needs to respond. They've had a week off, and I think they've had a week with Jose, and I don't think any player came out of that Liverpool game with any praise or should feel good about themselves. There was some average performances. There was a lot of bad performances. So it'd be interesting to see what team he goes with, but I think they need to respond. And I think Stoke will give us the time to play football. It'll be a different game to Liverpool. Stoke aren't going to press us like Liverpool do. I think Stoke will have a go because they're the home team, and I think that will play into our hands. People asked me today, a couple of people asked me today, not everybody. Imagine that, going to get your lunch. How does Stoke play, Mark? No, that wouldn't happen where I live. But asking how Stoke play, like I said, they're not the long ball of the past. It's a Mark Hughes team. They can mix it up like that. And they are dangerous from set pieces, but they're more of a footballing team. They try and pass their way through, but that, I think, will be their undoing if Manchester United pick the right team, go at them confidently. Away from home, you can't be looking for a 1-goal lead. You've got to get a couple of goals, like as we did at West Brom, and I think that sort of approach to the game, especially in the first half, a quick start, will be really, really important. I want to talk about Mark Hughes in a minute. Lolcats is right. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. We'll be live with the watch-along. Join us for that at 2 o'clock with the team news. 26 years still counting. Herrera scores, I think he will, says Casper. Right, my team for this game, and you might agree with it. I don't know where Mourinho's going to go with this. I'm going to chuck him. I'm just going to mention some names before I go through my team that I think have got a strong chance of being selected. I think Fellaini might force his way in. I think Rooney might force his way in. They're 2 names just to start thinking about over the next couple of days. They won't surprise me if they're in it. But my 11 against Stoke would be De Gea in goal, Valencia at right back, Jones and Rojo, obviously. I don't think either of those 2 did bad enough. I don't think they were at their best, but I don't think they did bad enough at Liverpool to be dropped after a week's rest. Left back, I think he will go for Darmian. I'd love to see Luke Shaw there, or Daley Blind over Darmian, but I think he will go for Darmian. The midfield 3, I think, is quite interesting. He surely plays Carrick. No Carrick, no party. And Carrick, if he turns up, I think Manchester United win. Unfortunately, against Liverpool, he was tactically undone, and he didn't turn up either, just like Herrera and Pogba, who would make up my midfield 3. On the right, I would definitely go with Mkhitaryan. On the left, I would definitely go with Anthony Martial. And up front, I would go with Zlatan. So it's pretty much the team that I would pick. I picked at Liverpool, and it's pretty much the team that Jose picked against Liverpool. I think he'll make changes. I do think Wayne Rooney will start. I think he'll fit Rooney probably in on the left. And I think he may try and fit Fellaini into the team and drop Carrick and put Herrera as the anchor role with Fellaini and Pogba to try and put a bit of physicality and get Fellaini up supporting Zlatan. It's not the end of the world if that happens. It was quite effective in our last 2 games as a last 10-minute ploy. But if you play Fellaini from the start, you've got to play a certain way. And do we want Manchester United to play direct football? No, we don't. But I think at this point in the season, we do need results. If he doesn't start Fellaini, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the last 10 minutes if we need a goal again. But for me, you shouldn't really be breaking up Carrick, Pogba and Herrera. Stoke aren't, and I said this last year when we visited them with Van Gaal, Stoke aren't the Stoke of old that are going to rough you up. They will try and play a bit of football, and if they're going to play football, we should play football as well. Pogba, Herrera, Carrick, Martial on the left, Mkhitaryan on the right, Zlatan up front, and let's get at them. And I'd like to see the same 11 that started last week start this week to prove that was a blip, that we didn't turn up, and we can turn up this game. But I don't think it's going to be easy by any means. If you're asking me for a score prediction, I mean, Pez C thinks that Rooney will start. Mata for Carrick, says Samuel Roos. I don't think Mata will start in an away game. I think he's more of a home team player. But if you're asking me for a score prediction, I do think it will be tight. I think it will be 1-0 or 2-1 to United. But I don't think it's going to be a very easy game. I don't think any game away from home is an easy game, and I think we should be prepared for a tough game on Saturday. But I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to every United game at the moment. I was tweeting this out earlier. I get excited about every Manchester United match at the moment because, as I said at the start of the video, there is no room for error. There is no room for error at all. We need to keep on winning. In fact, as I get the fixtures up here, show me the fixtures, mother. Liverpool, Swansea. Well, let's have a look at the league first. So you've got Manchester United in 6th place on 40 points. City 2 points ahead of us on 42. Arsenal 4 points ahead of us in that favourite position of 4th on 44 points. Liverpool in 3rd, joint 2nd, I suppose, with Tottenham on 45 points. So there's a 5-point gap to 2nd. Could we catch anybody this weekend? We could win at Stoke and Spurs could beat City for us, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, in fact, when you look at the fixtures of our rivals, Liverpool 5 points ahead of us. They've got Swansea at home. They're going to win that game. Arsenal on Sunday have got Burnley at home, 4 points ahead of us. They're going to win that game. Chelsea have got Hull. They're going to win that game, but Chelsea are 12 points ahead. Don't worry about them. And then obviously the other two is City and Spurs. Now, we're going to make points upon one of them if we win. Ideally, we're on 40 points. We win, we go to 43, and then City play Spurs, and that is the Saturday night game. If they drew, we would be joint 5th with City, and we would be 3 points behind Spurs. We'd make 2 points on them. If City beat Spurs, we'd still be in 6th place, but we'd be only 2 points behind Spurs. And 2 points behind City. So we've got to beat Stoke is the short answer. We've got to beat Stoke. What I wanted to bring up here as well is Adrian Smith thinks Spurs will win at City. I've got no confidence in Spurs. If I was picking somebody to win the title out of the 5 teams ahead of us, I would go Spurs. In fact, my order of who I would want to win the league would be either Spurs, Chelsea. Then it gets difficult because I can't stand Arsenal, City and Liverpool. But Liverpool would definitely be my 5th worst choice. I don't want them to win it. Then Arsenal or City? I suppose City. So Arsenal would be my 3rd choice. But I'm starting to feel physically sick at Arsenal, City or Liverpool. So I'd like Spurs to win it, but I think they're bottlers. They've got to go to Liverpool. They'll get beat there. I think they'll get beat against City. We saw Spurs come to our place and they got beat. They play good football, but they are bottlers in the big game away from home. They're good at White Hart Lane, but they'll bottle it up north, as will Arsenal if they try and do it. Chelsea will win it, Mark, says George Kyle. If it's not going to be us, as long as it's not Liverpool, I'll be quite content with that, if I'm honest, George. I want to talk about this. I tweeted this out today and I got a bit of stick for it. That it will be a difficult game on Saturday against Stoke because Stoke are in a good run of form at the moment. We need to win, and Mark Hughes hates United. And I got a lot of stick for that. Mark Hughes is a United legend. He loves United, this, that and the other. I didn't have time to reply to those tweets, but I just want to say, I want to put that into context. I'm old enough to have seen Mark Hughes play against Manchester United numerous times, and it really matters to him that he beats us. I've got no problem with that. He's managing another club. It's his professional career. You should want to beat the opposition. However, he was absolutely gutted that game when he was Man City manager and Michael Owen scored in the last minutes. There is a resentment from Mark Hughes that I detect. I remember him being on TV as a pundit when we played Chelsea in the mid-2000s. I don't think it was the 2008 Champions League. I think it was a cup final. He was asked who he wanted to win. He wasn't linked to either club at the time. He said Chelsea. And I'll never ever forget I'll never forget it for bad reasons anyway, but Aguero! Martin Tyler's favourite orgasm when they won it with the last kick of the game. They were playing QPR. I didn't watch the United game because I watched the City game because I was like, they're surely going to beat QPR. We went into stoppage time. QPR were 2 clear goals ahead of City, and City, they were one goal ahead, but City needed 2 goals to win it. QPR going into that game were in danger of being relegated. At that point, as we went into stoppage time, United had won the title, and if it had ended a draw, United won the title. What happened? What happened is this. Watch it back. I remember it vividly. Dzeko scored 2 minutes into stoppage time to level the scores. City needed to score again. At that time, the other game that mattered to QPR had finished. QPR was safe. Mark Hughes came to the touchline and said, "Don't worry about it, we're safe." From the kickoff, QPR just kicked the ball to City. City went up the other end. After 92 minutes of QPR defending like they would die if City scored, they melted like City were like a hot knife through butter. The seas parted and Aguero scored within seconds and the title was gone. QPR handed that title to City because they didn't care anymore, and neither did Mark Hughes. So don't tell me that Mark Hughes puts United ahead of anybody. People wanted him as manager at Manchester United last year. I wouldn't want him. I don't think he's good enough. And 2, I'll never forgive him for that. Where was the professionalism and where was the love for United? I mean, I never liked that. Will we sign Griezmann? Says Connor Ruddy. I'm totally confident that we will. What does it mean if I say that? It might mean everything to you. It might mean absolutely nothing. But yes, I expect Griezmann to come. I expect him to be our number 7. Man City make me laugh. Their Twitter account actually tweeted. Their Twitter account actually tweeted Griezmann rumours. Could anything happen? I mean, how small time are you to have your official account do that? Could you imagine Manchester United if we were linked in the Sun that we're going to buy Ronaldo, and then the Manchester United Twitter account had went, "Oh, we're linked to Ronaldo. What do you think?" It's just so tacky and small. Have some class. And actually, that's going to bite him in the arse because he's going to come to Manchester United. They're so needy. They're such begs, Man City. They really, really are. And Manchester United, of course, number 1 on the Deloitte Rich list. This was announced this morning. We're number 1 by quite a lot, over 500 million. I think Barcelona and Man City, Barcelona and Real Madrid are in 450 million. So we're a good 10% of that above them, like 50 million. We didn't even qualify for the Champions League. Winter's coming and it's only going to get colder for our rivals. The best thing about it is that I think City were 5th. Man City was 5th. They've got no fans. If there's the biggest red flag that they are corrupt, whoever investigates them, get investigated. They've got no fans. I understand why Manchester United are making loads of money, because we've got billions of fans worldwide who buy the merchandise, etc. Who's buying Cities? It's the biggest red flag that there's some sort of corruption going on there, that City are there. Unbelievable. But football, nobody wants to have a look at anybody, do they? But there's something definitely going amiss there. Do I think Payet would improve Manchester United? Says Jamie Johnson. No, I don't want him. I don't really want him. I think we've got better already, and I think I'm not big on his attitude, to be honest. And I think he's not been that fantastic this season anyway. But we're talking Stoke Manchester United. Very, very big game. Very, very big game. We've had a week off, and I think we've been able to talk about transfers, and we've had our Skype goal bridges and all this, that, and the other. But it's back to business on Saturday, and we're working towards that. It's tense. We've got to win it. I think if we don't win it, we're going to... The horrible thing is we've done absolutely fantastic to get in this position. We've won a load of games. We've got ourselves within 5 points of second, which is exactly what many of us said. If we can be within 5 points of second place by mid-February when the Europa League kicks in, we've got a big decision to make. Do we go for the league, or do we go for both, or do we prioritise one, because it's very difficult to go for both? We're in that position right now. But if we draw at the weekend, we'll be in the stupid position of, despite all these good results and remaining unbeaten, we will probably be 6, 7, 8 points off 4th place again, because Arsenal are going to win, Liverpool are going to win, and I think City will beat Spurs, and Spurs are already 5 points ahead of us. So it will be very, very difficult for us if we don't win, and I think we've got to win. But the team's got to respond. It wasn't good enough against Liverpool. They've got to respond, and I think there's a certain way we need to respond. We need to move the ball far, far quicker. We need to change the ball from one side to the other quicker, because we're very, very difficult to deal with down either wing. We're very potent down either wing. I think Darmian's an issue because he's a right back, defensive right back. at left back. I want to see Luke Shaw come into the team because I think Valencia gets it. He'll bomb forward and he works well. I think if we've got Luke Shaw in the team as well and he can bomb forward, it will really start to give us some balance and potency on either wing. And then we can hopefully start getting some decent ball into Zlatan. I mean, Zlatan's scoring the goals, but he really was dealing on scraps against Liverpool, wasn't he? So I don't think we need to be cautious against Stoke. And I think if we did pick Fellaini, I mean, I'm not going to go into some meltdown if we pick Fellaini. I've got no issues with it. He's done well recently. But I think if you play Fellaini, it slows the whole movement of the ball down. You don't create as many chances. You're reliant on the long ball. I think he's a second half option. Would I want Rooney to start? I think the issue with Rooney is I agreed with him coming on against Liverpool, but I think what I've accepted with Rooney, and I don't know about you lot now, what I've accepted with Rooney is that it's not bad form. We're not going to get the Rooney of old. What it is, it's just simple physics, whatever, genetics, age, whatever. He's on the decline. And that hurts people when I say that he's on the decline. But he is on the decline. He's not the Wayne Rooney of before. He can't be the Wayne Rooney of before. We saw it against Liverpool. He didn't have a bad game. He had an okay game. An average to good game, some would say. But the issue is, the mind's willing, but the legs aren't. And that's just age catching up with you. And I think we've been blessed by Scholes and Giggs and Giggs 40, Scholes into his mid-30s, Carrick into his mid-30s. We've been blessed by these players going into such, well into their 30s and still being competent to good, to brilliant at times. But that's not the real world. And I think we sort of fell into that trap of thinking every player is going to play to their mid-30s. But it doesn't happen with every player. A lot of players will still be retiring or into their big declines in their 30s, early 30s. I mean, look at Gerrard. How old was he when he went to LA Galaxy? I think he was about 33. So, Rooney's 31. I think it is just a natural decline. And I think that's the issue with Rooney. I think if Griezmann came in the summer, as blunt as it and as hurtful as it will be to some fans, I think that's it. Rooney goes. Basically, because of financial reasons, let's get that big salary off our books. And two, unless he's happy to play little cameos of 20 minutes every game, I don't think Rooney should be doing that. He's had too much of a good career. Go off and find yourself a club that's going to play you every week, Wayne. And I think he would want to do that. So I think we might be seeing the last half season of Rooney, and that is sad, but we've got to use him. Would I start him on Saturday? I probably wouldn't, but I wouldn't be disappointed if he did start. I'd just rather see a bit of pace with Tony Martial. Muller91 says Rooney will leave in the summer. Mark, thoughts on Shaqiri and Arnautovic? I thought you were going to say Shakira and Piqué. They make a lovely couple. But Shaqiri and Arnautovic, they do make a good couple, but they're a mid-table team, Stoke, and we should have enough. And I think this is the sort of game where I'd be very disappointed if Paul Pogba didn't turn up. I know he's struggled against the bigger teams, but against these sort of teams, he has been turning up, and I'd expect a big performance from him. We were really unlucky against Liverpool. Carrick, Herrera and Pogba just didn't turn up. And they dictate our attack and they protect our defence. And when that doesn't turn up, it makes it very, very hard. But we still got a point. We still got a point against apparent champion winners. So, and we're still unbeaten. Are we selling Shaw, Mark? Says Connor Ruddy. Well, Luke Shaw's agent came out last night and said he's really pissed off with it. And I don't think there's any truth in it at all. I don't want there to be. I want him to stay. So hopefully that will work out. Neve Caldwell is in the live comments. Many of you will know Neve. Apparently she's got a channel. You can click on her channel and she's doing a football boot giveaway. She wanted me to let you know about that. And as I wrap up, I just want to say this as well. In the link description, because it's a preview show, I can't talk for 45 minutes. It's not Skype Goldbridge. It's not in-depth transfer stuff. It's a Manchester United v Stoke preview. We've covered everything we need to cover, so I like to get it done in about 20 minutes. But I do like to talk. So what I've come up with a little plan. I've got a Mark Goldbridge channel. I like to talk about football. So tonight at 9 o'clock, or probably in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be doing a Lionel Messi versus Ronaldo debate, stroke Q&A, where you can come over and ask any questions you want to. Questions that I'm not really allowed to answer on the United Stand, but on my own channel, I will answer them. So whatever you want to talk about, other outlets, whatever like that, we can do that. We're going to do Messi versus Ronaldo, which I think a lot of you will know where I'm going to go, which is going to make a great debate as well. The link to that video is in the video description, second paragraph. You can go straight over onto the live comments there and wait for me. I'll be 5 minutes. Make sure you subscribe to that channel because I'm going to start doing more general football debates on there as well. I do want to talk about Chinese football and what that's going to do. I do want to talk about the FIFA World Cup, and I want to talk about topical stuff as well. So it's a separate entity. If you like the content on the United Stand and you like Mark Goldbridge, I'm talking in the third person, get over there, and it's some new stuff we'll do on a Thursday night after the preview for 20 minutes to half an hour. We'll see how it goes. But thanks everybody for watching. I can't wait for Manchester United versus Stoke on the weekend. We'll be live at 2 o'clock with the watch along for that, and the team news. Join us all for that. Tomorrow night at 8:30, I'm in two minds what we're going to do. Last week I played FIFA tactically and spoke to you about how I would do Manchester United against Stoke with the players that we will pick and they will pick, but it's more of a talk along as well. So we might do that, or we might do something else. But there will be a show tomorrow night at 8:30 as well on the United Stand. There'll probably be a transfer show in the morning. But if you want to pop over onto the Mark Goldridge channel, give me a few minutes and I will be live on there as well. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. I'd love to see Luke Shaw involved. That's what I forgot to say. I'd love to see Luke Shaw involved on Saturday. Starting the game, great. Left backs don't really come on for half an hour, do they? I think he needs to start games. It's not like a striker or something where you can feed them back in. I'd like to see him starting the game. Would he risk him away to Stoke when you've got an Artovic and Shaqiri? I don't know. Maybe he'll wait for a home game to do it. Maybe he'll wait to do it against the second leg against Hull next week. But I do want to see Luke Shaw involved. And I think I've got a feeling he'll react like Mkhitaryan, out in the cold, but then respond. Mourinho's the man. Mourinho's the man. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video, and I'm popping over onto the Mark Goldridge video now. The link is in the video description. Keep getting involved. Absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you shortly.